2.0?
Yeah. Well, Hollywood 2.0, the notion behind that came out of many long hours on the picket lines, talking with writers who are going, you know, why are we fighting over pennies? Why are we fighting over, you know, a DVD? And why are we fighting over the internet when you can just go to the internet? And it came out of endless negotiating committee meetings where we're sitting in undisclosed locations waiting for the AMPTP to come back with the latest bullshit offer. And, you know, it's a bunch of writers, and we're sitting around saying, you know, why are we doing this? Why are we fighting over pennies? You know, we should be making deals with Google. We should be doing something on our own, you know. And you know, when you give a large group of writers a lot of time on their hands, and you piss them off enough, crazy things happen. Countries form, you know, communist revolutions, and hopefully Hollywood 2.0. Around the same time as all this was happening, I got an email from an old business partner of mine, Brad Burkhardt, who's in the audience today. We ran a company in the late 80s, early 90s called the Reporting Industry Sourcebook before I went off to be a screenwriter. And he said, hey, I hooked up with this big Silicon Valley internet guru, a guy named Henry Poole, who is literally building, he's like saving the world, building internet platforms for Peter Gabriel's Witness Project and the ACLU and Amnesty International. And a big part of what he does is get the message out to the world about these organizations. And Henry wants to do the same thing for entertainment, for professional entertainment. So that led to a meeting of a bunch of top film and TV writers on a rainy Thursday night a couple of months ago, and then that led to a meeting in Silicon Valley, actually in San Francisco, a couple weeks later with some top tech, you know, internet gurus and network, affinity network guys, and a lot of people. I had no idea what they were talking about the whole night, but it sounded great. And you know what came about was let's create a marriage between Silicon Valley and Hollywood, and figure out a way to build a new system, a new way of creating and distributing professional content, and cut out the middleman. You know, we don't like to say that sort of riffing off of what Peter was saying, the gooch was saying. The companies have been telling our stories for 100 years, but we've been telling our stories for 100,000 years. And storytelling technology changes. It's changed constantly through history. But what hasn't changed is that people want great storytelling. They want to be moved. They want to laugh. They want to be frightened. They want to, you know, have their brain stimulated. And so the companies have had a stranglehold on distribution, on eyeballs, for 100 years. But the internet has leveled the playing field. And so Hollywood 2.0 is this. It is a new way of doing business, of delivering quality entertainment. And as Peter was saying, yeah, it starts out with cats sneezing, and people sneezing. What he forgot to mention was then porn usually follows. All I know is, you know, wherever porn goes, that's the right place to go. You know, and you know, so it's the whole concept of Web 2.0 is sort of like, you know, the web community, and look at me, you know, the mirror, holding up the mirror to the world. The notion of Hollywood 2.0 is now it's time to entertain, you know, now it's time to have a direct relationship between content creators and content consumers. And so my venture, Virtual Artists, of which Brad is a partner and Henry Poole is a partner, and we have a number of film and television and tech investors and partners. We've raised some seed money. We're in the startup phase now. We're talking to venture capital. Our whole intention is to create a new kind of studio that creates, develops, produces, and then distributes really great professionally done content, whether it's something that makes you really laugh, like Ask a Ninja, or it's something, you know, akin to Little Miss Sunshine or Juno or The Office or South Park. And, you know, the 12,000 members of the Writers Guild, you know, we're the guys that are creating this stuff. And outside of the Writers Guild, obviously, there's great storytellers in the world that haven't had that ability to get an agent at CAA and get their stuff on CBS or into the theaters. You know, our company is going to, in the spirit of free and open source software, and in the spirit of, you know, the model of freedom that the internet embodies, we're going to make our development fund available to all great storytellers. And we are going to make our distribution platform that we're going to be building available to all great content that we are going to hand pick and deliver on the internet.
Should I give out your email address now?
Well, it's no. You can't, I mean, virtualartist.tv is we have a splash page. It's, you know, it's just literally just coming up. But it's, you know, we want to make it a new, so Hollywood 2.0 is a new way of creating and delivering professionally done, provocative content to the people and building a community around that content, much like you've built a great community of guys that you have a relationship with, and we actually want to do something where we're not necessarily going through Google or Yahoo, where they're going to control the information on who is watching our content. We want to actually have a direct relationship with millions and millions of end users and build a community where we can turn to them for any kind of interactivity. And maybe they'll even be investors in projects in the future, like what Robert Greenwald does.
And by the way, the one little piece I know about the internet is that it's all about building communities. Those of us who venture into it know that the world of the internet is all about somehow building a community. Now, we've had, Ken Hayes is an island of sanity surrounded by writers.